Hi, hello, another beautiful sunny day. For anyone who's just turned on and doesn't know, I always stand here for about 5 minutes at the beginning and just say hello and things, just so people know they're in the right place. The actual lesson will start in about 5 minutes from now, so just so you don't wonder what's going on, I will start teaching in a moment. I just wait for people to arrive, but I think it's nice to be here to greet them. Hello, first person. Who are you today? I wonder who it is. Let's see. No name coming up yet. Oh, Emily. There you go. You get Star Award again. Hello, Emily. Nice to see you. Who else have we got? Anybody else yet? Not yet. Do like and share me, please, and then that way it goes out to more people. And then I'll show you what we're doing today. We're doing a nice easy one again today, and then we might do something more complicated again tomorrow. Hello Morwenna again, nice to see you again. Please like and share it so other people know I'm here. Anita, nice to see you again. Who else have we got? Did you see me on my little walk just now? I've just come running back so I'm not late for this. I was down by the estuary in Truro and I put a little quick video up with my hair all blowing in all directions. So I have exciting news. A school in Iowa in America's picked up on these lessons and been using them, so that's quite cool. So if Iowa is watching this now, hello, and do get in contact directly with me, please. It would be lovely. Hi Anita, nice to see you too. So we've got Morwenna, we've got Anita. Who else have we got? A few of you there now. We'll start in a few minutes, and so if you've just turned on, don't worry, we will get on with this, but I just like waiting for people, and I think it's nice if I'm actually here when you turn on, if you get here too early. Pamela, how's your garden going? Is that looking lovely? Pamela has the most fantastic garden, and I only know because I see photos of it all the time, but it is stunning. And one day in the lesson we actually painted the garden together. And she did brilliantly, really well. So don't forget, I do private lessons as well, and then I can really hone your individual skills rather than just doing something that's very general for everybody. We've got Pamela. Who else have we got? Anyone else there? And do like and share. Some of these have been getting up to 4,000 views, and that's down to you liking and sharing as well. So do like, do share, do tell your friends, and if you like and share it, it goes much further. Oh, you're very busy in the garden, are you, Pamela? I bet you are. She's got the most gorgeous, gorgeous garden. Maybe she'll post up a picture of it in the feed of this, then you can all see. I think she's won lots of awards for it over the years, so I can certainly see why. And got another couple of minutes to go. I was teaching a boy in London this morning how to do architectural drawing again, so that was good fun. And I'm teaching 4 ladies on Friday. We're doing portraiture. And so we're doing that on a kind of very solid level, whereas a lot of information, a lot of background psychology and all sorts of other things as well. It's interesting stuff. Some of you that are already here have done those kind of lessons with me a bit. Yeah, and then you get amazing results in a very quick space of time. This I'm always showing each time, but just so people get an idea. If you do the full-on lessons with me, 3 hours on sketch, this was the progress of a 10-year-old girl not copying. That works with anyone, any age, any ability, nothing to do with what you think you can do. It's about giving you the right core understanding and knowledge. 3 hours on perspective, even architects have said they couldn't believe what they learned. 3 hours on paint and brush technique here, works with anybody again, and it's about giving you generic knowledge. It's like the grammar, spelling and punctuation of art. 5 lesson progress, 90-year-old stroke victim. 4 lesson progress, 50-year-old German lady. 3 lesson progress, 40-year-old Sri Lankan man. So you can see the speed people learn and develop is amazing, because instead of just copying me, they're actually learning the core fundamentals of it. Right, we'll leave it another couple of minutes and then we'll start. I've brought some friends of mine along to see you today, but don't worry, I haven't broken any self-isolating rules. And I'll show you who they are in just a moment. But they're very special friends. who only come out on very special occasions, so don't laugh at me when you see them. And we will start in a moment. Here's one of my pictures that I've done. I'm just about finished now. And I also do, hello Sandy and hello Carol. I do realism and I do architectural things. I've got an architectural one that's up at Truro Cathedral. So they're really fine architectural work. I think I've got one here, but I can't see it straight on. Oh, no, that's not it. And I do all sorts of things like this kind of thing as well. I do seagulls, I do seascapes, I do people, I do cats and dogs and all sorts of things. So if there's anything you fancy as a commission, or if you want to learn how to do these things, then we can do a private lesson. Oh, here's an architectural one. It's not one of the best ones, but there's one. So I do all manner of things. I confuse people because most people think I only can do one style of things, and it's because I'm basing it all on this grammar, spelling and punctuation. Hello Keith, nice to see you. Okay, so today's a bit of silliness. I kind of stretched you a bit at the weekend with all kind of chopping and sticking and gluing and printing and all of that. I thought we'd do something really daft today. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we all go out clapping. So last Thursday we did three-dimensional nurses and doctors in their uniform that you could stand in the window. So I thought today, I've already told you about the teddy bear hunt thing. And I thought we haven't done anything for the bear hunt. So the children will be out tomorrow clapping as well. So I thought if we had some bears in our window, that would be fun and something different. And then tomorrow we're going to do something much more serious again. So I did tell you I brought some of my friends along today. So here's one of them. I have a selection. I brought along, I don't think they've got names. There's another one. And I've got two more here. And I thought these guys could help us. There's a little white one that's rather cute with a heart. And I've also got another one with a heart who's brown. So what I thought we could do was either draw a single teddy bear and then stick it in the window if you actually haven't got a bear, so that the children doing their bear hunts can see one. But I also thought that we could make enough, looking forwards and backwards, that we could sit them around like a checkered cloth and make it into a teddy bear's picnic if you wanted as well. So it's all a bit daft. I went for a lovely walk, as you might have seen just a little bit earlier on Facebook Live, and I was down by the river and I saw some people doing exactly that, and I thought today we could do that, because I had another plan, but I thought let's go to that plan. So we're going to go all the way back to really one of the very first lessons, when I taught you about breaking things down into pieces and then building them back up again. So to draw a teddy bear, and I drew one just really quickly now, the first thing you want to do is do it in pencil again. Don't go straight into colours and dark lines, because the sooner you do that, the sooner you're committed to something. I'm only going to draw in dark felt pen so that you can see what I'm doing. So please don't think that I'm suggesting you should. You should be drawing like a fairy in pencil, really light and really gentle. So if you look at one of my teddy bears, I'll get this one, because he's rather gorgeous. And I'm going to sit him, because then he can be sitting at this teddy bear's picnic. If you wanted to, you could stand them up, but it depends what you want to do. I think for today we can do it sitting first. And if you look at this, we measured our own bodies when we did clowns a bit, I think. If you measure his head, so if I put my, what can I put next to it? If I put this ruler next to it, his head is about that long. And if you look, his body is only fractionally longer. So he's got a very big head for his body. So the first thing we're going to do is almost like look at his head and decide on what kind of shape it is. Hello, Veronica. We're going to go for something, it's almost like an oval, but it actually comes in a little bit at the top. And we need this to be about a third of his height. So if that was the top of his head, this would be the bottom, and then this would be like the bottom of him, and then we can either have legs up or legs down. So I'm going to draw his head first. So it's almost an oval. but I'm doing this in pencil. I want you to do it in pencil. I'm just doing it in pen so you can see. There's his head. Then we're going to do his body. Now notice, this poor teddy here, or any teddy, doesn't really have a neck. So the body is going to come out from almost just above their chin. So don't start too low. So you want to come out from about here. And I'm going to give him a nice big round, almost like the shape of an apple body. So we've got a head that's like an oval that's a little bit narrow at the top. And we've got a body like that. Now, if we look at his nose area, muzzly bit here, it's sort of like a giant oval on this one. Sometimes it will be a triangle-y shape. This one's got completely different shape on him, although I suppose it's similar. So if you've got a teddy at home, you could use one to copy. This one's got a smaller, rounder snout. So basically, you can use a bit of imagination, but for now, we'll use this one. And so we're going to do a great big round snout like that on his face. So you've got one big circle, another one that's just fractionally bigger underneath. And now we've done a great big nose, well, snout area, whole thing. Now his nose is sitting high up on that. And it's again, in this case, an oval. Sometimes they're triangles. But you can choose, and you can use your imagination with these. Back to good old Henry Ford, who said the only limitation is your own imagination. Now I'm going to bring you fractionally closer so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. There you go. So we've got 4 circles basically, or ovals. So we're making it as simple as we can. Instead of looking at the whole, we're looking at it in bits. Now here for his mouth, it comes down and then it kicks up like in a, it's almost like a very flattened out W here. So we're going to come down and then W, W. There's his mouth. And now his eyes, in this case, are quite small and they're tucked kind of almost directly up from either end of his nose. So I'm going to do a small little circly bit like that. And then if you remember, we've done eyes before. You always want to leave a little shiny bit in there. That gives that glint in their eyes. So you want to make it dark, really dark, because then the eyes will stand out. But you need to leave a little white mark like that. And then can you see it actually gives them character? If you fill that little white mark in, they just look flat. They don't look like a real thing. The minute you put that little light in their eyes, but you'll do that with a pen in a minute. And you can see those eyes kind of looking at you. We're going to get his ears now. So the ears come up, so it's almost like on a diagonal line up from his eyes. If that was a clock time, it would almost be like 2:30 or 10:30, something like that. And then round to being almost in line with his ear there. So I'm going up from here and I'm coming all the way down like that. And then I'm going to do the same over the other side. For some reason mine's looking a bit more like a pig at the moment, but never mind. So I can adapt it because at the moment you should be working in pencil. Then we can see a little bit inside his ears here. So I might make that, I don't know, it might look like an elephant then. Hang on. Right, so there goes that bit inside his ears. And now we've got his arms and legs to worry about. So I'm going to move you back a little bit so you can see a bit better. Whoops. Right, there we go. So, with the arms and legs, this time, last time I said whatever you do, don't do it like a banana, because if the real arm bent in the middle, then we'd have a problem. So when we were doing the clowns, we did it as a sausage here, and then we did another sausage down here, and then we let them join at the elbow. But this guy here, he really does have like banana-shaped arms. So you're allowed to make them bendy on the teddy bear. And they're coming forward. So they're coming from his neckline again. And they're coming round like a banana and then back up. And I might have this one coming out a bit as if he's waving at you or he's about to have something, pick up something from the tea table. So he's got like 2 banana arms coming out right from under his chin. It's not, he hasn't got a neck to speak of. Now, because I'm going to put them sitting down, we're mainly going to do his feet straight on. But if you did want him standing up, his leg would be like this. So I'm going to do 1 foot up and 1 foot down, and then you can choose what you want to do. Hello, Janice. So we're going to do 1 foot up, and here all I'm going to see is the great big paw of that foot, like that, and then it's going to have the pad bits on it like this, and I might see a little bit of his leg just coming around the side there, but that's all I'm going to see. If his leg was down though, then I'm going to see a great big fat leg here that comes down a bit narrower by his ankle, and then you're seeing across his foot, and what happens here is you're going to go up, right down, and then let his base of his foot be there. And so there in that one he's sort of standing up. There we go. So you've got that. Now on the end of his hands he's got these pads, so I'm just going to give him a pad on the end of that hand, but this hand I'm not going to see the pad because it's coming in towards his tummy. So do remember, this one you'd see it, this one you won't. So have a think about those things. So you've basically got, he looks like he's going for a walk. He looks like a very happy teddy bear. I think he's gone off for my little walk down by the estuary at Truro. I think that's where he's been. Anyway, you've got this in pencil at the moment, either sitting, standing or walking or whatever your teddy bear's going to do. And for those of you who've just turned up, the idea was that you stick these then in your window for the children doing the bear hunts. So that's why we were doing it. So partly it's to learn skills of drawing about breaking things down and building it up. But also the idea was either to make them a teddy bear's picnic or to make it just a teddy bear to stick in your window instead of having a real one. Now, when you've done all that, these lines should be in pencil. So I'm going to change colour so you can see what I'm doing. But instead of going in and just drawing him with hard lines, you can if he was made of a hard fabric. But most teddy bears are fluffy. So you're much better when you actually draw the lines in, not to draw a solid line, but to make the line hairy. So the black line I've drawn wouldn't show at all, and all you'd see would be the hairy edge of him. And now he looks quite fluffy. And the same may be around his snout. Now the snout bit might not be so hairy, or it might be, that's up to you. And it might well be a different colour, so you could fill the whole thing in hairy if you wanted to as well. This one looks like he's got stubble now. There you go. And round the edge of his ears should be hairy rather than a hard line. And round the edge of that ear should be hairy. And round the edge of his arm should be hairy, and so we go on. And you can draw it with individual hairs, and all of a sudden he starts looking like quite a fluffy little bear, you can see. So instead of having a hard line, which is why I said draw the hard line in pencil, you can see that I'm then going to go over it like that. Now his nose, again, whatever kind of bear you're doing, it's quite good if you make the nose dark. And if you've put the light in their eyes over to the right, I suggest you also leave a light on his nose over to the right. And then it looks like he's got a nice wet shiny nose. And if you colour it in, then you get a black shiny nose. Now my black pen's not working very well. If you wanted to, you can also put stitches, or maybe you're going to show the stitch line down his tummy. And don't do it as a straight line. Remember the one we did about faces right, faces left? Give it a little bit of a bend and then he'll look a bit more round. And also if you wanted to, like the bear that I've got there, which I believe was one that my grandson gave me. In fact, I know it was. You could even put, like that one has little patches of bright colours stitched onto him, like that, and you could put like little marks here where his toes would be, and maybe even a couple of little marks where his fingers would be on this side, assuming teddy bears have fingers. And then of course you could colour them in and have an absolute ball with it. Now I've done this with you before, but I'm just going to show you again. I'm going to take this one off here, and I'm going to take it over to the light box, because the other way you can always do it would be this, which is you could draw it first on one sheet of paper. With any luck you're now pointing at the light box, and I'll just cover it up, and you can see I can see right through. So instead of drawing all those original lines, I can just go straight into drawing the hairy ones, and that way you won't see any of the dark lines in a minute at all. You'll just see straight into the fluffy lines. So if I go around his body now, giving him some fluff, going round his foot here and the pad of his foot, and then make his edge of his foot a bit hairy and his arm a bit hairy, and quickly round his body a bit hairy, and the other arm a bit hairy, and I'm going to go as fast as I can so that you don't get bored. And not my best work, but I think you get the ideas. Nose, and my pen has now stopped working. Fantastic. So, right, if I turn that round now, you can see by working from the other side, I've removed all of those original lines, and you've just got straight into the fluffy version of it. So one side I had all the hard lines, the other side I knew where the hard lines were, and you can do what I did with my light box to a window, hold it to a window. That looks a bit like a koala bear now. Anyway, that's that. So we've got that. I'm going to pop this up here so you can see it with my magnets. I'm just going to move it over to the side a little bit so I can do something else. So there's teddy bear number 1. Now you could colour him in, but if you wanted to do the idea of this teddy bear's picnic, what I was thinking you could do was have a look at one of mine again. I'm going to pop some photos of my 4 teddies up underneath this feed, so if you want some ideas they'll be there. But the idea is just break it down into loose shapes lightly in pencil first, then work in your pens. So if you wanted him to be sitting down, we've got the big circle, the other circle, we've got the 2 ears going in, we've got the nose area, then we've got the actual nose, we've got the eyes, we've got the mouth, we've then got these banana-y arms, and if it was facing in, we won't see the pad. If it was facing out, we will see the pad. And we might have stitches down his tummy to make him a bit more rounder, following in a curve. But if I want this one sitting down, I could just do both his feet straight up like this with the pads of his feet. And then he could be sitting opposite me at this teddy bear's picnic, and you could do yourself a checkered tablecloth that he's sitting by, and then you could do his friends sat round, and you could cut them all out and put them around a tablecloth, and then we could do some here bigger but doing them from the back. Now the way we would do that is, I'm just finding a better pen that's working better, is you can draw to do the back version. Oops. You could draw again lightly in pencil the head shape, the body shape, this one's a fatter teddy bear, the ear shape, and you can make it a bit lopsided if you like, because they look quite cute. This one I'm going to give more of a triangle-y nose to, and then more of a triangle-y nose here, and then little bits like the flattened W. I'm going to give this one bigger eyes if he was coming from the front. So this one looks completely different to the other one. The inside of his ears, banana arms again. I'm going to do that banana arm out again with a pad on it. And then this time I'm having him sit down again, so I'm going to draw the giant feet coming forward like he's sat down. And that's his front version. But I'm going to take this one off the easel and take him to the... I'm going to take him over to the light box, and you can see what we can do to do the back version of him. So if I just rip half that page off, like that, and if I take it over here again, then that's the front. I'm going to put that to the light box, which would be your window. And this time I'm only going to draw the back view of him by drawing around only what you would see from the back. So I'm going to go round his foot like this. So it's a bit like when we did the rabbit cards from the back as well. And I'm just going to go round the bottom of his feet like that, round his arm, going all hairy, and round his ears. And now if I turn it round, unfortunately you can see through to the arm, but can you see this could then be the back of the bear? And this time we'd be seeing the back of him here, and that would be his bottom coming round, and then his feet would be going out to the side. So you can get the back view of your bear to put at the front of your picture like this. And you could do a whole teddy bear's picnic if you like, or you could just do a very big, even if you want to do it. It doesn't have to be A4, depends how big your paper is, teddy bear, or you could do a series of them, even waving at the children as they go past, and have a whole number of them across your window. So just before we finish today, I'm going to do another couple just so you can see again. And it's something, you could do this on a greetings card, of course, as well. You could even make it like the rabbit one where you cut it free. But basically this one's very similar, but he's slightly different. So this one's got a more triangular head like that. His ears are smaller. His nose is rounder. His eyes are even tinier. And then his nose in this case is brown. So you really are free to have a bit of fun with it. You could try and make teddy bears to look like your family members if you wanted to. Well, I'd go carefully, you might offend somebody. I'm sure I would if I said who I thought one of these looked like, but there we go, there's that one. Here goes his arm again, that arm's sticking out a bit more. And then if we have this one sat down, his feet are a bit smaller, so this is a little bit different because this time I'm going to draw as if I can see the whole joint of his leg. So that's where his joint's in here. And then I'm coming out like that. And then I'm putting the pad of his foot out there. So he's actually got a foot that you can see the whole of it, almost like a boot sticking out with the pad on the bottom. Just going to move that one and I'll hold it up again at the end. And then here, I can do the same. I can show you where the leg joins, and I can make it go a bit wider as it comes out, because as something comes towards you it seems to get bigger. And then I can draw the pad of that foot on there. And we can give him some stitching again, and he can have some patches again. He'll have a pad on his hand again. And this one could be eating a giant cupcake or something, so maybe he's going to have a giant cupcake in his hand because it was a teddy bear's picnic was the idea. And maybe that has one of those beautiful swirly whirly tops on it like that, and it's got all that, and I like cherries, so I think it's going to have a cherry on the top like that. So there he is with his cupcake because it's teddy bear's picnic. And also, like all good teddy bears, he particularly likes cucumber sandwiches. So we're going to give him a cucumber sandwich, and that's like a little triangle one because he's gone to a very dainty picnic. And there goes the bits of cucumber in it, and then the bottom piece of bread there. So he's a very hungry bear because he's got a cucumber sandwich and he's got a cupcake. So that was the main idea. You can obviously play around with it. and just fiddle about. But basically it's about always breaking things down and building them up. If you do want to put them around a tablecloth, you can do it just like this sort of thing if you want to do it the easy way. But if you want to be really clever, you could use a bit of perspective and actually let the tablecloth appear to come from somewhere like that, like there, and then all the stripes would follow through from what's called the vanishing point, meaning that everything as it's coming forward gets bigger and wider and more open. And then if we sat our teddy bears around it, we could have small ones here at the back, and he might have his friend could even be being very rude and actually walking across the tablecloth. So we get this one having a wander across the tablecloth with his foot up in the air again, like the one I drew first. He's coming marching over to maybe get, I don't know what, a giant cupcake. So you could have a whole lot of fun with this. You could just be a bit daft today. It's so nice outside. I thought, why not have a little bit of silliness? And then this teddy bear, we've got the back of him here, the back of his head, the back of his ears, the back of his arm going round. This arm, maybe we can see more of it like that, because he might be waving at his friend. And then his foot would be coming in from the sides like that, we'd be seeing it. And he'd be sat here on his bottom, so we need to give him a nice flat bottom bit there. And he could be looking out to his friends in the distance. So, you could turn this into clowns again if you wanted to, or anything, but just for today, I thought if we had some big teddy bears, I might finish this one off in a minute and stick it up in my window for tomorrow, because I think he's quite cute. He's come out a little bit like those greeting cards one, which wasn't what I planned, but there we go. And of course you could do one like Pooh Bear, you could do one like any sort of teddy bear that took your fancy. So I'm just going to show you my offerings of teddy bears again for today, and then tomorrow we're going to do something a bit more complicated again. But here he is, to give you some ideas, and look at the bottom of his feet. And I will stick a photo up of him. And, oops, that one. I've got this one here holding a heart, but that could be a cupcake or a sandwich or nothing at all, whatever you wanted. But holding the heart's quite cute. This one is just brown, and he's very special. He used to belong to my mum, so he's very, very special. And this one was a gift from my daughter. So there you go. They're all different. This one's very plain, and this one wouldn't have fluffy edges. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you fancy any art lessons, or if you need a commission of a dog, a cat, a person, my son James and I are also doing art and juggling parties. James is coming in from Australia. He's a really top professional juggler, and he's doing half the party is juggling with James, and he's teaching people to juggle, and the other half I'm doing something arty. And I won't give away my trade secret for the parties, but let's just say the parties I've done it at so far have loved it, and it's something you wouldn't be expecting, but it's arty crafty. So there's that, there's my proper art lessons, and these are the ones where I'm going to teach a lot of information in a very short space of time. And these fun ones are just going on every day at 2:30. If you like them, there's a whole lot more, and I think there's now about 21 of them up there, and some of them are very complicated, some are very simple. They're all a range of it. When I was a child, all I wanted to do was be a Blue Peter lady, so I think I'm living the dream at the moment. So as long as you're all enjoying it, please like and share, please tell your friends, please promote it when I put up the equipment you need each time, and please keep collecting your toilet rolls, because we are going to do something where you need about 12 toilet rolls, the inside bit, to make it. I'm still collecting mine. I'm not doing very well with it, so that's why we haven't done it yet, but I'll do it in the next few days because I'm nearly there now. So anyway, lovely to see you all. Enjoy the sunshine. Please send me your bears afterwards, and also please send me any of the other things that you've been doing. I had a couple of the three-dimensional hands from yesterday, absolutely amazing. So give it a go, and also realise that everything I'm teaching you is actually skills that are useful in art anyway. So whenever you draw, always follow the contours of what you're drawing, don't go against it, always break it down into simple shapes. They're all very core rules anyway, so do enjoy the sunshine. Lots of love to you all, and I will see you again tomorrow at 2:30. Please like, share, and if you want to put a comment on my Facebook on Art Jeanni or Art at the Beach, or my TripAdvisor Art at the Beach Newquay, I would really appreciate it. And I didn't say today, but this is all my way of saying thank you to the NHS, because I think we have to agree they're doing an amazing job. So I'm doing this to help you guys have a fun time at home, so the NHS isn't too stressed. So take care. Love to you all. Bye.